Your life as an enslaved woman in 18th century America. Before the sun rises, you are already awake. Not because you want to be, because you are owned. The wooden floor above you creaks. Someone is moving. Orders will come soon. They always do. You've learned to wake before the shouting starts, because the shouting costs you something. A second of confusion, a stumble. And stumbling here has a price. You sit up slowly. Your body aches, not from one day's labor, but from years of it stacked on top of each other, until the weight never fully lifts. You were born on this plantation in Virginia, and unless something impossible happens, you will likely die here. You don't know it yet, but before this year ends, someone on this plantation will disappear, and no one will be allowed to speak their name again. You pull yourself up from the straw mattress. The air is cold. Around you, other women shift silently. Some whisper prayers, some nurse crying infants. No one lingers. You don't own your time, not the morning, not the day, not even your name. 12 years ago, your mother whispered your real name to you. She told you to keep it safe, hidden deep where no overseer could reach. To the ledger that lists human beings beside livestock, you are someone else entirely. The world you were born into. In 18th century America, slavery is not hidden, it is law, it is infrastructure. It is the foundation beneath the wealth that men in powdered wigs will soon call freedom. Colonies like Virginia and South Carolina build their economies on tobacco, rice, and indigo, crops that demand bodies. Endless bodies, endlessly replaced. By the mid-1700s, hundreds of thousands have already been transported across the Atlantic. Those who survive the Middle Passage, weeks in darkness, chained below decks, surrounded by the dying, enter a system engineered to outlast them. For enslaved women, the burden is doubled. Labor in the fields at dawn, labor in the kitchens until night, and something else, something the ledgers don't record but everyone understands. Your children will be born into this same system. The law guarantees it. The children of enslaved women inherit their mother's status, not their father's. Ownership passes through your body. Your life is work, unchosen, unpaid, unprotected. The work you tie your headscarf and step outside. The sky is still gray. The overseer sits on horseback at the edge of the field, watching before you've even reached the row. No one dares fall behind. You bend to the tobacco plants. The leaves are thick with morning dew, sharp-smelling, heavy. Within hours, the sun climbs and the heat becomes its own kind of weight pressing down on your back. Your hands crack by the second week of every harvest. By the fourth week, the cracks bleed. The overseer does not measure pain. He measures speed. Every day, the same calculations run through your mind without you choosing them. If you slow down, punishment. If you collapse, punishment. If you argue, punishment. If you run, something worse than punishment. Something the others describe only in whispers. So you keep moving. Not because you have surrendered, because you have decided that surviving today is the only revenge available to you right now. The constant presence of fear. Fear here is not occasional. It lives in the body. It changes how you breathe, how you walk, how you look at a door when it opens unexpectedly. No court will hear your testimony. No law protects you from your owner. In most colonies, it is illegal to teach an enslaved person to read or write because knowledge, even in small amounts, threatens the entire architecture of the system. You may marry in ceremony. You cannot marry in law. Your vows are not recognized. Your family has no legal existence. You may give birth. You cannot guarantee that child will still be beside you in a year. A mother here lives with an unbearable calculation she makes every single day. How do I love this child fully, knowing they can be taken from me before morning? Most women here do not have an answer. They love them anyway. The whisper. The whisper starts small, the way all terrible things do. They're selling people. No one looks at each other at first, because looking makes it real. By midday, a man arrives with a horse and a leather ledger. His eyes are calm the way a butcher's eyes are calm, not cruel, just professional. He has done this many times. He will do it many more. He doesn't shout. He doesn't threaten. He simply opens the ledger and reads a name. Not yours, but close enough that your knees go soft for a moment. The woman called tries not to cry. She understands something every enslaved person here understands. Crying makes you look weak, and weakness makes you cheaper, and cheaper makes you easier to separate from whatever you're still holding on to. So she stands still. Her daughter doesn't understand yet. She grabs her mother's dress and won't let go. The overseer pries the child's hands loose. Finger by finger. You watch. You cannot look away. Because looking away feels like abandoning her, and she has already lost enough today. You realize something then that no one had to teach you. The worst part isn't the chain. It's the morning after, when her sleeping space is empty, and the other women move around it carefully, like it's still occupied by something. The private spaces you don't own that night, you hold your child close and hum something you barely remember. A melody your mother sang. A fragment carried here from somewhere across an ocean that was crossed before you were born. You don't know the words anymore, but the shape of it is still in your body, the way a path stays in grass long after people stop walking it. Memory is rebellion. They understand this too, which is why they work so hard to destroy it. But they also drink too much. They also forget to latch the gate on the far side of the south field. They also sleep. You notice these things, you file them quietly. Not because you have a plan, not yet, but because the part of you that was born free, the part that existed before any of this, is still watching, still measuring, still waiting. They believe you are broken. They have mistaken endurance for surrender. There is a woman 2 rows over in the quarters, older. She was brought here from Georgia 15 years ago. You don't know what name she had before. She answers to what they call her. But she knows letters. She learned them from a Bible passage a white child read aloud near the kitchen window, years before the laws tightened. She practiced in dirt late at night until the shapes lived in her hands. Now she teaches them to you, 1 letter at a time, in the dark, pressed into your palm with 1 finger, quick and silent, the way her mother must have pressed her real name into her when she was small. If they find out, the punishment is severe. You practice anyway. Because the system runs on your believing that you are what they say you are, and every letter you learn is a door they forgot to lock. Whispers of change. If you live long enough, and many don't, the world outside this plantation will begin to shift in ways you can feel, but not quite see. In 1791, enslaved people in Saint-Domingue will rise up and fight until they win. Haiti will become the first Black republic in the Western Hemisphere, proof that the system can be broken by the people inside it. Closer, abolitionists in the North are writing pamphlets, petitioning legislatures, arguing in language that the founders themselves chose, that all men are created equal, and asking loudly why that sentence ends where it does. But change like this arrives slowly, and it arrives unevenly. For many women in these fields, freedom will not come in their lifetime. It will come to their daughters, or their daughters' daughters, or not at all. Still, you plant the hope anyway, because hope, unlike everything else here, belongs entirely to you. The legacy they could not erase. The system put you in a ledger. It assigned you a number and a price and a column beside livestock. It changed your name. It separated your family. It passed laws to keep you silent and laws to keep you ignorant and laws to ensure that what was done to you could be done to your children. And it failed. Not cleanly, not quickly, not without enormous cost, but it failed because you are still here in every descendant who carries something forward without knowing exactly what it is, in every name someone reclaimed, in every song that survived because someone hummed it in the dark when the words were already gone. The woman in the ledger, the one whose teeth were checked and whose body was evaluated and whose price was written down in careful ink. We don't know what she was called before they renamed her. We don't know what she dreamed about. We don't know what she was building quietly in the hours they weren't watching. But she existed. She endured things no human being should ever be asked to endure. And she planted something that outlasted every man who ever held the pen. That is the only memorial she received. And it is the one they could not take. This is the buried record. We don't sanitize history. We show you what actually happened. If this story mattered to you, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me in the comments What buried history should we cover next?